So, وَالْقَلَمِ وَمَا يَسْطُرُونَ. So this surah is 68, right? So do we have all the information we need about this surah? We're going to talk about what this surah claims in a few moments. This surah is really great. As soon as he gets it up on the board, we'll talk about what the surah claims. You understand what I mean? Now, in order to go forward, we're dealing with a Meccan surah. So we have to go to the chapter of Meccan surahs and talk about what are in Meccan surahs. First of all, what's a Meccan surah?
82 before migration.
How many Meccan surahs are there? 82. Let's go recite it. 82 before migration, Meccan surahs. Okay, when we say it sparked the nation, what does that mean? They were inspirational. Okay? That they were inspirational. Go ahead. Inviting to Tawheedullah. So we call the surahs of Mecca the surahs of Tawheed. Surahs of Aqidah. Right? Inviting to Tawheedullah and not to worship. That's prophets, saints, all types of shirk. For good works. So we see that in these surah it says to do amalu salihat, but it doesn't specify what act of good act to do. Right? Whereas in the Medina surahs, it tells you exactly what act of good to do. Yeah, everybody understand my broken English? Okay. Yeah, not to worship others, prophets, all types of shirk. About the rising from the grave, as if we knew, then we behave. So then in this surah, in this Meccan surah, hey. In the Meccan surah, we're going to see that it talks about the rising from the grave. As if we knew, then we behave. About the, surah that made men reflect and their minds could not reject. Stop. So, surah that made men reflect and their minds could not reject. What are we talking about here? Come on, guys. How many types of statements are there? 3 types of statements. There are a legal statement. That's a statement of Allah and His Messenger. What's the other type of statement? An empirical statement. That's a statement that is, what do you call it? That makes you use science to figure out if it's true or not. And then you have a logical statement. And a logical statement is a statement that the mind cannot reject. Right? Like you only have one mother. You only have one father. Right? An elevator is either going up or down or standing still. Logical. That your mind cannot reject. Right? Go ahead. So these ayat, when you heard them, nobody, Kafir, Muslim, Majus, nobody could say, I reject that. Because Allah knows the intellect. And He formed the language so that they could not reject it. So that make men reflect and their minds could not reject. Go ahead. Warnings and then punishment. So in these surahs we're going to find warnings and punishment for what? In this world or in hereafter? No, not both. In the Meccan surahs there's only punishment in the hereafter. In the Medinan surah there's punishment here. Had. Remember in the Medinan surah we talk about the hudud, society. Right? Jihad. Right? So does that men reflect and... Okay, we're close.
While telling us to be patient.
While telling us to be patient. At the same time, the Meccan surahs tell us to do what? Be patient. Why? We're here. Because we have to be patient, right? Na'am, tabarakallah. So here, in the Meccan surahs, they tell us to be patient because we're not strong. We're not in a position to fight. So Islam doesn't tell us to do things that we can't really do. Okay? Go on, read on. I can't hear mumbling. No mumbling. About the final day for all. An open challenge to kuffar. So here in the Meccan surahs again, we see it talks about the last day. Yawm al-Qiyamah. The events of Yawm al-Qiyamah. We can see those things going to happen here. And what's the next line? An open challenge to kuffar. So what is it challenging the kuffar to do?
Make something.
Go get your people if you think you can do something like this. Get whoever you want. Come on with it. Or are you claiming something like this? Okay? Watch, we'll see that here. Go ahead, go on. What's the next line?
Curses and oaths begin.
Say again? When curses and or oaths begin. When curses and or oaths begin. So that when we see in the surah, go to 100, man. Okay, never mind. When you see a surah that starts with a curse, give me a curse. No, that's not a curse. That's an oath. Waylun li kulli humazatil lumazah. That's a curse. Waylun lil mutaffifin. Hell with the mutaffifin. That's a curse. Okay? When curses and or oaths. An oath. Give me an oath. وَالضُّحَى وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا سَجَى. That's an oath. I swear by the night. You know, by the day. And then the night. You know, when the tranquility of night. Go on, what's the next one? When letters, huh? Come on, letters, everybody. What? I can't hold you, I can't hear you. And letters that hold secrets in. And letters that hold secrets in. What are they talking about here? Alif, Lam, Mim, Ra, Ta, Sin, Kaf, Ha, Ya, Ain, Sad, Noon. These letters, they hold secret. What's the secret they hold?
Only Allah.
Allah knows best. If we knew it, it wouldn't be a secret, right? Okay. What's the next line? Nation past, not nation past. That's a mistake. Wa alaikum salam from the producer. Nations past and nation past. When it talks about the past nations, go ahead. And creation, and it talks about the creation. Go ahead. Prophets gone. When it talks about the past prophets and our creation and how we were created, Adam and everything. Go ahead. Kalla with his strong negation. These all came. So whenever you see kalla, we know Meccan surah. When the last time we saw how many kallas? Kalla, kalla, kalla. Right? So now let's go through this and look for these things we just mentioned in this surah and in every surah. Okay? That we do. It starts off, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Noon wal qalami wa ma yasturun. It says noon, and only Allah knows what that means. Then Allah swears by the pen. وَمَا يَسْطُرُونَ. The pen, it said that the pen was the first thing created. Allah created the pen, and the ulama of Tawheed, they argue if the pen was the first thing created or was the throne created first. You know? But the strongest argument is the pen that was created first, and Allah said, Uktub, write. And he says, وَمَا أَكْتُب. Well, what am I going to write? Mother Aktub. He says, write the qadr, write what's going to happen. Hatta yawm al-qiyamah. So the pen began to write, and it wrote everything until the last day. So what's going to happen to the last day? Okay? So it says, so the pen is something very serious, very important in Islam. The pen. وَالْقَلَمِ وَمَا يَسْطُرُونَ. And يَسْطُرُونَ السَّطْرُ are lines. These are lines. And that's why you see a lot of times in these poems, these are not mentioned as verses. Because verses are in poetry. This ain't poetry. And Allah mentions it as وَمَا يَسْطُرُونَ, the lines. Al-khat, that is written, or the ayat. That's the only thing they're mentioned as. And that's what we call it. The pen and what it writes. This is talking about the Allahu A'lam, but it also is mentioned too with the angels. What are they writing? You have an angel on your right and you have an angel on your left. You have angels around you who stop things from happening. Every time you slip and stumble and you catch yourself, that's actually the angels preventing anything that Allah didn't write for you to happen, not to happen to you. But of course you have the angels writing down what happens to you, what you do. Ma anta bini'mati rabbika bimajnoon. And here immediately it begins to talk about what's happening. Remember, we just spoke about what was going on. They're saying that the prophet is a sahir. They're saying that the prophet is a sha'ir. They're saying that the prophet is majnoon. He's crazy. And so the prophet, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he first says, Ma anta bini'mati rabbika bimajnoon. He says, you are not, by the blessings of your Lord, Majnoon. You know, it's a statement that says, oh, alhamdulillah, you're not crazy. That's basically what it's saying. Everybody see that? Then it says, وَإِنَّ لَكَ لَأَجْرًا غَيْرَ مَمْنُونَ. Like, don't worry about it. Remember, Allah just told him, قُمْ اللَّيْلَ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا. Stand up and pray and relax. وَرَتِّلِ الْقُرْآنَ تَرْتِيلًا. وَذَرْنِي. Leave me to handle these people. I got you. So he says, وَإِنَّ لَكَ لَأَجْرًا غَيْرَ مَمْنُونَ. So he's putting the prophet at ease. He says, and the fact is, وَإِنَّ, for you're going to have, without no doubt, a reward that is uncut off. Ain't nobody going to be able to stop it. Mamnoon, maqtur, it's uncut. A reward that goes over and over and it's flowing. Then it says, وَإِنَّكَ لَعَلَى خُلُقٍ عَظِيمٍ. And the fact is that you are upon that la, it comes with the inna, just like here, inna la. But we say, wal asr, inna linsana la fi khurs. That la there is also, every time it follows inna. Okay? So it says, it's double emphasis. You are upon khuluqin azim, and a great and mighty character. A lot of the people, modern day people, say, oh, that means that he had great character. That's not what this is mentioning. Most of the mufassirin from the first generations understood that to be khuluqun azim, the Quran, the deen of Islam. And when Aisha was asked about the khuluq of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, said khuluquhu al-Quran, that his khuluq was the Quran, meaning the Sharia of Islam. So we need to have all these evangelistic people stop and reflect on what the actual, language, not language, astaghfirullah al-azim, what the seerah and what the sunnah is about these issues. And because they try to big up the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they intend a good thing, but they say the wrong thing. This is the deen of Islam. And it's general for the Prophet, but when you put it there, it's umuman for everybody. Meaning that if you follow, Allahu alam, if you follow the deen, then you'll be on a khuluq and azim also. You'll be on a great and have a great character. Mafhum? Everybody understand that?